You will always see me wearing this, the Brown Scapular. And in today's video, we're going to delve into the profound significance of the Brown Scapular and the promises our Holy Mother made to anybody who wore this scapular faithfully. Also, how it works. The Brown Scapular is a sacred devotional object with deep roots in our Catholic tradition. It's not just a piece of cloth. It carries profound spiritual significance. Originally given to Saint Simon Stock, a Carmelite, in the year 1251 by the Blessed Virgin Mary. The Carmelites are the religious men and women who wear the brown habit, and it is a strict religious order. It's one of the most austere religious order. They have produced a lot of great saints and doctors of the church, such as Saint Therese of Lisieux, of the Little Child, Saint Teresa of Avila, and Saint John of the Cross. Extraordinary men and women. Mary presented to Saint Simon Stock the other part of the scapular, and she said, "This shall be a privilege for you and all Carmelites, that anyone dying in this habit shall not suffer eternal fire." And this extended to all Catholics. And that's why I and many other Catholics wear this scapular. And it has become a symbol of our commitment to our faith and to God. True devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary, says the Carmelites, consists in three things: veneration, confidence, and love. By simply wearing the scapular, we can tell her every moment of the day that we venerate her, love her, and trust in her protection. The wearing of the brown scapular is more profound than just wearing it. The habit of the Carmelite order or any religious order has a significance to them. It's a promise or a vow they do to the religious order, which means observance of the vows of obedience, chastity, and poverty, after the example of Jesus and Mary. Meaning that we too, wearing this scapular, we need to follow those vows. Maybe not to their extent, because obviously they're religious people, but to a certain extent. First, obedience. We must be obedient to the church, to the Pope, always following what the church teaches us. Not being a pick and choose Catholic. No, if we're gonna be Catholics, we're Catholics all the way in. This is not a buffet. Oh, I like this, I don't like that. No. We're Catholics and we're gonna follow the teachings of the Catholic Church. Number 2, chastity. Observe chastity to one state of life. Either you're married or single, but always observe chastity. Number 3, poverty. Always choosing simple things, not buying ostentatious things for the sake of grabbing attentions or buying things that we don't really need. No, instead of buying things just for our own pleasure, let's instead give that money to the homeless or help somebody else. But always choosing simplicity. We could live a simple life without having a lot of big things. The most important thing of all is to be faithful. Always following the commandments and always loving God before anything or anything. Wearing the scapular, it's not about thinking that, oh, we're going to wear this and I'm going to be saved even if I keep sinning and doing bad things. No, it doesn't work like that. If you're going to wear the scapular, you're making a commitment to God to live according to His will. Let's now delve into the promises to those who wear the brown scapular faithfully. The Blessed Virgin Mary made specific promises to those who wear it with true devotion. These promises include special graces, protection from eternal damnation, and she will also shorten their stay in purgatory if they should pass from this road still owing some debt of punishment. This promise is found in a bull of Pope John 22. The Blessed Virgin appeared to him, and speaking of those who wear the brown scapular, said, "I, the Mother of Grace, shall descend on the Saturday after their death, and whomever I shall find in purgatory I shall free, so that I may lead them to the holy mountain of life everlasting. That's why I'm never going to take it off. For enrollment and to be eligible to the promises made by the Blessed Virgin Mary, one must be enrolled in the Brown Scapular Confraternity. One can be enrolled by any priest. I'm going to leave the prayer in the description below so you could take it to your priest, your local priest, and he could enroll you. Some things that you must follow about the Brown Scapular is that it has to be 100% wool. It is worn over the head. You cannot wear it like a bracelet, like an ankle bracelet. No, it has to be like a necklace over your head. It could be under one's clothes or on top of one's clothes, with one square of wool hanging on the chest and the other on the back. It must be worn as much as possible. Of course, you can take it off anytime you're gonna do an activity. For example, I take it off whenever I swim, because if I leave it on, I'm gonna lose it. So you can always take it off, but try to wear it as much as possible. One might think that you have to pray the rosary every day or abstain from meat certain days a week for the scapular devotion, but that is not necessary. As the Carmelites noted, the scapular is a silent prayer that shows one's complete consecration and dedication to the Blessed Virgin Mary. The scapular is a devotion whereby we venerate her, love her, and trust in her protection. And we tell her these things every moment of the day by simply wearing the brown scapular. I will be leaving a link also in the description below of popular questions that people ask the Carmelites about the brown scapular and the answers. It's really helpful. The following are some things that Catholic saints said about the brown scapular. Alfonso Ligori said, "Those who say the rosary daily and wear the brown scapular and who do a little more will go straight to heaven." Those who pray the rosary daily, wear the brown scapular, and do a little bit more, they're going to go straight to heaven. Ooh, powerful. One day, through the rosary and the scapular, Our Lady will save the world. By Saint Dominic. Pope John Paul II said once, "I too have worn the scapular of Carmel over my heart for a long time." This is a saint who wears the brown scapular, Pope John Paul II. If he's wearing it, come on, we have to wear it as well. Pope Paul VI, speaking of Marian devotions, especially of the scapular, says the following: "Let the faithful hold in high esteem the practices and devotions to the Blessed Virgin, approved by the teaching authority of the Church. It is our conviction that the Rosary of Mary and the Scapular of Carmel are among these recommended practices. The scapular is a practice of pity, which by its very simplicity is suited to everyone." Saint Claude de la Colombière, the renowned Jesuit and spiritual director of Saint Margaret Mary, gives a point that is enlightening. He said, "Because all the forms of our love for the Blessed Virgin and all its various modes of expressions cannot be equally pleasing to her, and therefore do not assist us in the same degree to reach heaven, I say, without a moment's hesitation, that the brown scapular is the most favored of all." Whew. He also adds, "No devotion has been confirmed by more numerous authentic miracles than the brown scapular." If these great saints, people, are saying it, oh, trust me, I'm never going to take it off. The following are extraordinary stories that have to do with the brown scapular. Saint Alphonsus had a very special devotion to Our Lady of Mount Carmel, and while alive, wore his brown scapular faithfully. Many years after his death, his grave was opened. The body and priestly vestments in which he was buried had turned to dust, but his scapular was found perfectly intact. Saint Alphonsus Liguori's brown scapular is still intact and exhibit in his monastery in Rome. A Jesuit missionary in Guatemala related the following incident of Our Lady's scapular protection. In November of 1955, a plane carrying 27 passengers crashed. All died except one young lady. When this girl saw the plane that it was going down, she took hold of her scapular and called on Mary for her help. She suffered burns. Her clothing was reduced to ashes, but her scapular was not touched by the flames, and she survived. Wow. And lastly, a home saved by fire. In May 1957, a Carmelite priest in Germany published the unusual story of how the scapular saved a home from fire. An entire row of homes had caught fire in Wiesbaden, Germany. The pious inhabitants of a two-family home, seeing the fire, immediately fastened a scapular to the main door of the house. Sparks flew over it and around it, but the house remained unharmed. Within 5 hours, 22 homes had been reduced to ashes. The one structure which stood undamaged amidst the destruction was that which had the scapular attached to its door. The hundreds of people who came to see the place Our Lady had saved are eyewitness to the power of the scapular and the intercession of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Wow! And there you have it, 3 profound stories, miracles that have to do with the brown scapular. Wow, incredible. If you want to read more stunning and profound stories like these, I'm going to leave more stories in the description below. I know sometimes we might get anxious about all the little things, to have to do this or that, to have to follow these rules. But please, don't get anxious. The most important thing is for us to know that the brown scapular is a silent prayer. It is the image of a mother clothing her little child. Every time we put on the brown scapular, we're reminded that Mary is clothing us with her own virtues and holiness, so we can imitate her. The brown scapular means that we have entrusted ourselves to Mary, so she could help us on the path to Jesus. Thank you so much, and God bless you all. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please get yourself a brown scapular and start wearing it daily. God bless you. Please keep me in your prayers, and I'll keep you in my prayers. I love you. Ciao.